It is the 41st millennium. For more than 100 centuries, the Emperor has sat immobile on the golden throne of Earth. He is the master of mankind by the will of the gods, and master of 1,000,000 worlds by the might of his inexhaustible armies. He is a rotting carcass, writhing invisibly with power from the dark age of technology. He is the carrion lord of the Imperium, for whom 1,000 souls are sacrificed every day so that he may never truly die. Yet even in his deathless state, the Emperor continues his eternal vigilance. Mighty battle fleets cross the demon-infested miasma of the warp, the only route between distant stars. Their way is lit by the Astronomicon, the psychic manifestation of the Emperor's will. Vast armies give battle in his name on uncounted worlds. Greatest amongst his soldiers are the Adeptus Astartes, the Space Marines, bioengineered superweapons. Their comrades in arms are Legion, the Imperial Guard and countless planetary defense forces, the ever-vigilant Inquisition, and the tech priests of the Adeptus Mechanicus, to name only a few. But for all their multitudes, they are barely enough to hold off the ever-present threat from aliens, heretics, mutants, and worse. To be a man in such times is to be one amongst untold billions. It is to live in the cruelest and most bloody regime imaginable. These are the tales of those times. Forget the power of technology and science, for so much has been forgotten, never to be relearned. Forget the promise of progress and understanding, for in the grim, dark future there is only war. There is no peace amongst the stars, only an eternity of carnage and slaughter, and the laughter of thirsting gods. This is the premise of Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine. I'll come clean, I love the Warhammer universe, and when I found out that THQ were making a game for the Xbox 360 and PS3, I couldn't have been more excited. Now there were several delays and changes that were made from the first leaked footage that wormed its way onto the internet a few years back, but it was still a very enjoyable game. The plot of the game is perfect for the 40k universe. It is brutal and gritty, with only the illusion of hope. Plot twists and an open ending to the story were executed to near perfection. I won't get into spoiler territory, but the saddest thing about THQ going bust is that they will never get to finish the story arc that was started with this game. Space Marine is visually beautiful. The landscapes seem appropriately grand and epic, and animations are displayed very well, with only the occasional enemy disappearing through a wall as you cleave him in two. As you wade through enemies, you'll often become drenched in gore, and this is a wonderful touch that I feel deserved special mention. The gameplay is thrilling and the controls responsive. You have a wide selection of weapons at your disposal, my favourite's the Thunderhammer, that you can choose to shoot, explode, burn, bludgeon, stab and eviscerate your enemies with. My only real gripe with the game is the somewhat linear level design. You begin the game by jumping out of your Thunderhawk gunship in low orbit to board an Orc cruiser, to only then spend the rest of the game being foiled by ankle-deep rubble that blocks your path. There's no cover system. After all, you're an Adeptus Astartes. What do you need cover for? Well, in later levels a cover system would have been useful. When things turn ugly and the enemy get heavy ranged units, it's very difficult to close the distance to get to grips with the enemy. Unlike most other shooting or combat games, your health won't regenerate on its own. In order to heal yourself, you need to execute enemies by stunning them and pressing the execute button. This is a really cool feature, however when you're carrying out an execution you can still take damage. I often found myself with the same amount of health after I finished one, simply because I was still being hit by orcs. Space Marine does support several multiplayer modes, Team Deathmatch, Capture the Flag and King of the Hill style modes, but my favourite is the Exterminatus mode. You and 3 friends fight off increasingly difficult waves of enemies. You fight through 4 maps that ends with a final boss style wave. It is incredible fun, however there's no lobby system for you to pick what map you would like to try. This can get increasingly frustrating when you have played the same map 4 times in a row. All in all, I love this game. The writing and voice acting is on par with what we expect of a AAA title, and the gritty visceral combat feels more physical than most games I have played. It It's not a perfect game, but for my money, it's definitely worth it.